Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Joanna Wright here, founder of Bottom Line Wealth. Welcome to your weekly training. I have a few people that I want to welcome inside of the group. Thank you for joining us. You can do anything with your time and you're trying to get into real estate investing and really the nuances of creative real estate investing so that you can close quickly and scale to whatever it is that you want. Some people just want a couple properties, some want 100, some want 1,000, so it just depends on who you are and what you want. I put together a specialized game plan for my students so they know exactly what they're doing and know exactly how many properties they need to get there. So if that's you, if that's something you want to know, let us know in the comments. Yes, how many do I need, right? So, and we'll reach out to you and help you figure that out. But first and foremost, welcome to the Get Started Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing group. New people here. I want to welcome Martha, Anne, Noreen, Cherie, Paula, and Marcella. Those are the newest members of this group, and we strive to make sure that you are taken care of. Christine is one of your outreaches, and Angel is one of yours as well, so that you can get all the documents, get all the trainings, get what you need, because everyone is different. And the more you can go into the DM, the direct message, and get specific with us, because this is a general area inside of the group here. Sometimes people get lost in the weeds and they're like, well, I don't know if I need to do this, or do I need to do that? So we're here to get you some clarity, right? We can guide you in the right section. There's so much training in here that is at your disposal. And there's even more that we're doing right now. We're doing the Ditch the Bank 8-week accelerator program. And we're setting them up for success, right? Those of you that have joined, you're doing the, type in the comments. Let us know what your aha moments are in that so far, because we started with treating this like a business. Right, we went over some business skills, business mindset, and how the IRS looks at you, because we geek out on the tax and legal side of things here in this community. I used to do tax prep. I used to train on taxes. I've read tax law, and I know what the ins and outs are. I try and give my students the best advice to ask their CPA and their attorneys, because everyone's different, right? But hey, this is what the tax law says. Go see how it figures out for yourself. Ask your CPA. That's what I typically do. And that was some of the nuggets that I gave on yesterday's training, so that everyone knows that they're in the right game. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot you can do in real estate investing. So today I wanted to give you a 90-day plan. I don't know if I put that in there, but if you are live, say hello. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Hold on 2 seconds. You can do any. All right, Marjorie, I see you. Yes, awesome. All right, so I wanted to give you a 90-day plan here. I wanted to go over that and give you like a little bit of a checklist. Would it be cool if I gave you a checklist on how to close on property in 90 days or less? This is something that I tell people all the time. I have students that have closed on property in 90 days. I've had students that have done it sooner, and I have students that have done 90, and I've had students that have done later, right? So it's an ambitious project to be able to do it in 90 days. But I lay out the steps, and then you get the gas pedal. You get to choose how fast or slow that you go. How many offers you make dictates how fast you close on a property. It's just that simple. It's simple math. There's no real magic here. It's just simple math. Okay. So the magic is the math. So a 90-day plan to close on your first real estate property is what I wanted to talk to you guys today, whether you're holding or you're going to do a wholesale without any prior investing experience. So what I mean by that is maybe you haven't closed on something before. Maybe you have your own personal home. But at the very least, you've been researching, right? You've been what I call Google tubing. trying to find answers on how to close on a property, how to do it creatively, how to find the funds for it. Everyone starts with the money first, which is the last thing that you should be thinking of. There's so much more that happens to it. And if you can get that part down, the funds happen. I kid you not. So I was told this early on when I started. I've been in this industry for 23 years. And there was a saying that said, if you have a good deal, the money will show up. And it's like, what, out of thin air? How does that work? You know? And so I questioned that whole theory. And sure enough, having a deal made the money appear. I kid you not. And it's not out of thin air. It is because I'm doing the work, I'm showing the work to other people, be that private money, hard money, people in the group, whatever it is, I'm showing that there's a deal here and they want to jump on board and make it happen. If you're not doing deals, if you're not analyzing deals, if you're not showing your work, people don't take you seriously. So that whole cliche thing of if it's a good deal, the money's there is pretty much true. But there are some action steps to take with it to really make it true. And that's what I want to take you through today on how to close your first property in 90 days or your next property if that's what you want to do. So I'm laying out a little plan. Let me know in the chat if you want a checklist on how to close on a property in 90 days or less. I'm going to give you my checklist that I have here that I'm running through that I'm going to read off of to make sure I cover all the different things for you. But first and foremost, having a step-by-step plan is what is needed, right? And this is what I'm giving my students. They get a step-by-step retirement plan, and we reverse engineer it to today so that they know exactly the benchmark steps that they need to take, okay? And we have systems in place. We have tools, systems, PDF, contracts, all of those things to support each and every one of them. Some need them, some don't. It just all depends, right? But again, we do suspect that you have some knowledge, which is why you're here. You came into this group because you might even want to type that into the chat. You came into this group because you wanted to get, right? Go ahead and type that in the chat. But I'm assuming it's you wanted to get the idea how to do creative real estate investing, how to retire early, how to create a retirement plan out of real estate, how to either wholesale or hold property, because we teach on wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, and money lending. Those 4 strategies are the only thing that you get to choose, right? Wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, money lending. That's the only thing that you get to choose. Everything, every word or verbiage of how to do things out there is a derivative of one of those 4, right? Like the BRRRR strategy is a mixture of hold and flip, right? So you get where I'm saying? Lease option could be a hold, or it could be a wholesale, right? You don't have to own the property. You can. Short-term rentals, that could be long-term hold, or it could be like a wholesale. You're doing arbitrage. There's so many different things, but it all stems from these 4. So this is the only thing that you get to, my fingers, wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, money lending. That's all you get to choose from in real estate investing. That is your first choice, right? So if you've been spinning your wheels trying to figure this out, here's a little bit of a checklist to guide you. And I know the information highway, the Google Tube resources out there are so many. And everyone has this like fluff way of saying, oh, you can do this overnight, or here's the easy button, bam, take this red pill, this yellow pill, whatever. Sorry, I'm not that fluff person. I'm a very down to earth. Here's the steps, let's go do it. That's how it's done, okay? So education is key. Education is key, and hopefully you've had some sort of education that you've been striving, scratching at the door at, either in this group or out there in Google land. You've been researching, YouTubing, whatever it is, Google tubing, I call it. So where this leaves most people is confused because it doesn't give you a plan. It's just a spot here of this, a spot here of this, a spot here of that, and you're just like, how do I pull this all together? This is what I offer you, is a plan, a 90-day plan, right? Well, actually a retirement plan, and then how you get your first property in 90 days or less, okay? So education, market research, choosing your market, that is the number one thing. We just were set up in, let me see here. Christine says she was just, yep, nice to see you. Just now seeing your message, Christine. All right, so, okay, good, you got me. So just so that we're clear, understanding your market, we just spent over this on Ditch the Bank Accelerator class. We just started yesterday, and it was really just all the setup, the logistics, the how to be a business, how to really treat this like a business and be an entrepreneur. So that was the very first step into in handling this, because if you don't treat it like a business, you're not going to do it in 90 days. You're just not. If you're treating it like a hobby, or maybe this day I'll do this and that day I'll do this, it's not going to happen in 90 days. Just saying. So that was our very first setup, and our next setup is all about the market, right? So choosing your market, how do you do that? And the simplest answer that I can give you, right? It could be your own backyard, but some of you, like me, live in the middle of nowhere. So I'm up in Northeast Pennsylvania, and I actually live in the forest for the most part. I'm surrounded by trees, my neighbors are far, and society is far from me, right? So I'm not going to invest too much in my own backyard. You want to go where there's capita, right? There's people. And that should be, and we're going to go over this in our Ditch the Bank method in detail. However, there should be at least 50,000, 40, 50,000 people. 100,000 is good. You have at least, you have a good, and you have a million plus is grand, right? Then you've got plenty of properties to play with. It's when you deal with those rural markets or areas where there's not much activity, it's really hard to get comps and have lenders want to lend on those properties. Okay, so choosing your market, choose it wisely. You don't have to go on to the nuances, which we're going to go on to the nuances in the Ditch the Bank Accelerator. But for this checklist, all you really need to know is that there's action, right? There's action that's happening. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a little cold. There's action that's happening, and that means, is Amazon going on? Is Home Depot there? Is Walmart there? All the big boxes, we call them, right? If you look at downtown, let's just take Florida, for instance, Tampa area. If you look at downtown Tampa, there's cranes everywhere, right? They're building. There was more the past few years than there is now, but you knew it was gentrifying through that period. It's gone through a huge transformation. So is Knoxville, Tennessee, and Chattanooga. They just blew up. So if you're in the close to any of those areas, or you have an area that isn't like metropolitan-ish, like New York and California, if those are your backyards, just know that holding property, you're not looking for cash flow, right? So holding property, you might want to look in more of a Midwest area. This is how you choose your market, is by knowing, first of all, your exit strategy. Are you going to wholesale? Are you going to flip? Are you going to buy and hold? Okay, so if you're going to wholesale or be a money lender, then it could be nationwide, but pick one place. Not several, just one place. Okay. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but just know that you want people there. You want to know that your strategy can work, right? If you're going to hold property, you need it to cash flow, so you'll know what market to be in there. If you're going to flip, you could do California and big places that are volatile, have a high up and a high low or low low. So just understand that coming out of the gate. And if you need a better plan, again, that's what we're here for, is to give you a better plan. There's so many variables, but typically your own backyard is where you want to start. Okay, so that you can see, feel, touch, and understand, the market a little bit more. You could drive for dollars. all kinds of different ways, which brings us to the next thing is lead generation, right? So lead generation is key into really understanding what's available out there. So some of us like to use realtors. We need leverage of time. I get that, but realtors don't always know. I'm a licensed realtor, so I know what we know. I've been licensed since 2000, and most realtors do not know or do not like investors because they don't know us very well. So I make way more money being a real estate investor than I ever did being a realtor. Plus, I have my time back. You know, I'm not spending evenings and weekends like most realtors do. So I love being an investor over a realtor. But I do disclose I am a licensed realtor. So lead generation is key, right? Lead generation is key. And we use Property Radar, which we have in our Vault. I think Christine can get it too. We have a demo that you could watch if you want to use it. Whatever software you're using is fine. That's just what we use. So we're all on the same page, and I can actually get lists and I can send them to my students so that they have a list right away. And they could start either dialing, mailing, whatever, getting a hold of those motivated sellers. So having a lead generation strategy is key, right? And multiple ways that you could do this. And you could go to the courthouse, get a list for free. You can you leverage a realtor, you can go to your title company, property management, so many different ways that you can entertain leads. Do not, here's a do not, and most people don't spend time on the do nots, but do not focus on listed properties that just came on the market. You want at least 90 days or older if you're going to go on the market and leverage a realtor. Okay. And know what it is for your market. If your market is normally 50 to 60 days, then go out 120 days. Okay. I'm going to take a sip. Okay. I am feeling better, by the way. Just need a little breather. But you don't want listed properties. All the sharks are on that. Everyone's on that right away. It's for the retail buyer. You are basically a wholesale buyer. You want it off market. You want to do something creative. Off market is best. So you want to go directly to seller, and Property Radar will give you motivated sellers right out of the gate that you can call, text, and get a hold of. Okay. And then even one of my students just got a yes on one of hers. And it wasn't even one on her list. She was looking at a house across the street and she saw them over there, and there was like a number on the porch to call. She was like, I wonder if they're selling that. And so she walked over and knocked on the door. So always keep your eyes open to what's going around. There's a lot of networking that happens in real estate investing, and that's being aware and open to what's going on around you. Okay. And then step 3 is about your criteria. What is it that you're looking for? Some people call this a buy box, right? What is your buy box? Do you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath? Is that like the only thing you're going to look at? A single family residence? Do you want multifamily? Do you want 3 to 4 units, which is still under lender law considered single family? Commercial is 5 units and up, right? So multifamily, small is up to 4 units, right? And then 5 units is up is commercial multifamily. All right, so know the difference. Your lender will want to know this because some people say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do multifamily. I'm thinking hundreds of units, right? And they're like, oh no, like a 3-plex. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. So there's a huge difference. So know when you're speaking. And what's important about that is when you're speaking to a lender, I don't care what type of lender it is. When you're doing regular retail, they pretty much know you don't know anything, right? And they treat you that way, even if you do know something. But when you're in private money lending and hard money, and there's like a hybrid type of both of those together, there is different types of lending. So this one particular lender I'm thinking of, he actually helps four, like just about billionaires. It's just four guys, right? And he takes their money and puts it in real estate investments. Okay. So that's what I mean by a hybrid. They're not really um, a private money lender. Like you and I, if we just talk to each other and they're like, oh, I got this 401k and I can lend on, or I've got this money in the bank or in the mattress or whatever, like that's one conversation. This is like four guys that got together and they have this one guy that brokers out all the funds to different projects. So anyways, they do it pretty much nationwide. Not all states. They don't do it here in Pennsylvania. They did it on my Georgia and California properties, but anyways, so you'll find these weird type lender companies. Just to give you an example, they want to know that you know your numbers, which brings us to step 3, right? If you don't know your numbers, they're going to see it, they're going to feel it, and they're going to go, I'm not going to do it. I don't trust you. They're going to do their own due diligence, of course, but this is what I heard from them. Joanna, could you teach them? Because I know you know your numbers. We get so many new people here and they obviously don't know what they're talking about. So people get a hold of a property and they get a hold of them and they're like, nope, nope. They say no more than they say yes, right? And when I give them properties, they're like, wow, you're very spot on with your numbers. Because they come up with the same numbers because they're going to do their own due diligence. So that's my the proof in my pudding anyways, that I know what I'm talking about when I get evidence of others coming back to me that are professionals in the lending business, which I used to be in the lending business. So I know what they're looking for, right? I know what they want to hear. I know what they want to see. And I know that running the numbers, getting the comps, getting the ugly numbers and the pretty numbers, which is what I go over with my students. They're like, ugly number and pretty number? Come on, Joanna, what's that? It's really the ARV that you're looking for in the pretty numbers. And you need to know what the market numbers are, which is the ugly numbers, for houses that are, not repaired yet, right? That's the ugly numbers. Because if you have an off-market deal and they're like, okay, well, I want 100K for it. And you're like, is that what's going on in the market? Right? Is that what's going on in the market? For that type of that size, the square footage, and it needs to have a kitchen gut and a bathroom gut. Is that typical? Or does it normally go for 70K? Or does it normally go for 150K? You got to know where you're at. Is it a good price or not? Right? So I go over with my students the ugly numbers and the pretty numbers. There's not a to give you an example of what a wrong number is, you can look on redfin.com and it gives you an average of the price per square foot in the neighborhood. And it's okay if you're kind of just taking a shot at seeing something, but what the lenders want to see is a little bit more detail, right? When you get that general number, they know you don't know your numbers and they're very hesitant to lend with you. Okay, so just knowing the pretty numbers and the ugly numbers is important. So analyzing property and understanding the numbers is one of the number one things to acquiring a property in 90 days, for you understanding more about real estate investing so that you can close on whatever you want to getting a lender in your corner by your side wanting to lend with you. And private money lenders, like if you could package this up and show private money lenders, here's all the data, they're more likely to work with you. Okay. So doing due diligence when you get a hold of a property is key. So I have made offers in properties with, sight unseen. I've made offers sight unseen. And some of my students are like, oh my God, now I have to look at the property before I make an offer. And I get it. I was that way when I first started too. But here's what I know is if I make an offer, I've already studied the market. I know the price is approximately that. I've spoken to the seller. They've told me approximately the repairs they've done or it needs, right? And I know that there's an opportunity according to their story of how I do this, right? So if you guys got did you guys get my, how to analyze properties so that you can, my cheat sheet, so that you can spend less time analyzing properties? If you need the cheat sheet on analyzing properties, let me know. I'll add it to this 90-day cheat sheet as well, checklist. But really understanding your due diligence during that time, you can still get into contract and then negotiate once you're in contract. It shouldn't be too much different, but there's almost always something anyways, even if you did see the property before, there's almost always something. So it's okay to renegotiate once you're in contract, okay? They can take it or leave it. I've done it plenty of times. So that's negotiating, really knowing how to negotiate and working with the seller. And if you have a contractor involved, what's going on there? What are their numbers? Why is it different? Why is it the way that it is? And explain that to the seller. And they're either happy to make the arrangement or okay with making the arrangement, the new price, or they cancel. Okay. So step 4 is, really having that team, talking about contractors, that leads us into having team, right? Having realtors on your side, having, title companies, all of those different things, bird dogs to bring you more deals, systems in place. Like we have an REI lead generator system that helps us leverage time. And my students get a hold of that, and they has a website that says, they buy houses, and it's a plug and play. They get my credibility, they get a system of email campaign to be able to reach people right away, all right? And then the whole financing part of it, I'm not against you getting pre-qualified with a bank. I mean, see where you're at. Tell them what your credit is. Do not have them pull it. Do not have them pull it. Say, I'm looking at property in this area, this type, and I want to see what I qualify for if I wanted to do that. It's still an option. You pay way more for the house doing it that way. Don't get me wrong. It's not my best way. I haven't touched traditional financing in years. But if it works for you to get your first house, I'm not against it. All right. And I know most of you are here because you want to do creative real estate investing. And why wouldn't you? You shouldn't have to come out of pocket with your own money. There's several ways to do this through hard money lenders, private seller financing, taking over, assuming, just creating that whole thing is, that's what I love to do. And that's what I've been doing for years. I have not come out of pocket at all for any of my repairs, any purchases, any escrow, anything like that. And I want the same for you. Okay, I want the same for you. So it doesn't hurt to speak to a lender, but just know where you stand. All right. So whether you're holding property or you're wholesaling property, this works for either way. All right. And know what you're going to do. Make a general marketing plan so that you can follow it. Okay. Let me see here. And some action items so that you can learn faster. So success in real estate often comes from experience, which is what I often give my students. Okay, if you've ever been through a 5-day challenge, I bring you through an experience. I have you make choices, and then I have you grab a deal, analyze it, and the experience of talking to sellers and analyzing deals is going to bring you so much further than any kind of video that you watch or book that you read or person that you talk to. It's the experience that I give my students that makes all the difference in the world. I'm not just sitting here bobbling trying to tell you what to do. I actually give you action steps to come with me and walk through a property so that you can close on as many as you want. And the more you learn what's expected from you, from a seller, from a realtor, from the title company, it's so much easier to get to the next one. It's so much easier to get to the next one. Okay, so the more you can experience this, please have someone in your corner by your side doing this. I've heard of so many horror stories like, oh, well, I did this YouTube thing and I did it myself and I only lost $31,000. I'm like, I can't see that for you guys. Please have somebody in your corner by your side that's working with you, whether it's me, somebody else, your family member, your neighbor, I don't know what. Please have someone in your corner by your side. We're here every Wednesday to answer questions. I'm gonna actually pop over right now and see if there's any questions going on so that I can grab. I see Marjorie in here. Paula. You see, I would love to, the cheat sheet, the analyzing properties. Absolutely, we'll get that over to you. I think Christine that you have that. Zena's here. Yeah, if you just, Christine, if you want to send over to Paula, check your DM, your direct message in Facebook, and Christine will reach out to you and make sure you have everything that you need. The cheat sheet for analyzing properties, this training as well. Any questions? You're the bomb, top notch, looking forward to great results. Absolutely, absolutely. Did you catch that replay, Marjorie, yet? I'm so excited for you. You are super welcome. Okay, I don't see any actual questions other than the one. I'm an agent too in Dallas. Oh, good, Santa. And this is a thing. Introduce yourself to the group. Okay, we have agents, we have title companies, we have lenders, we have all types of people. We have people that are wholesaling, we have people that are buying and holding. If we don't know you're in the group, we don't know to use you. Okay, and everyone's going to what's the word? Everyone's going to want to work with somebody for some reason, right? So if you're introducing yourself into the group, so Zaina, introduce yourself. She's an agent inside of Dallas, Texas. And if you guys are looking in that area, then she can help be the boots on the ground and find you some property. Now, if there's realtors that are in a real estate investing group, that means they're investor friendly, right? So that is your first key into finding a realtor that is investor friendly, is by connecting with them. You can even post in the group, hey, I'm looking in this area. Is there any realtors in this area that I can connect with to purchase property? Right? So whatever it is that your need, buys, wants, needs, post them inside of the group, network inside of the group. Networking is 90% of real estate. It truly is. Let us know what's going on, what it is that you need, what are you looking for, what are your skill sets that you can offer the group. All right. So thank you for pointing that out, Zaina. All realtors must post. All realtors must post. Let us know who you are. Perfect, Paula, and we'll get to that sheet. If anyone is missing anything, let us know in the comments what you need, and we'll reach out to you inside of the messenger, because they could get lengthy inside of and we want it to be specific to you, okay? And a specific conversation helps you to be direct in your real estate investing. All right, so check your DM. Let me know. Christina's in there, or I'm in there. One of us is in there, or Angel's in there. Just know that we're here for you. And if there's anything else that you need, let us know. I'll see you in the next training. Bye.